So yeah, I'm not gonna tag ASMR. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna tag that. But I'm 30 years old, and I don't want to get off topic here, but they do say that a lot of people that are LGBTQ plus or whatever, or neurodivergent, or a lot of neurodivergent people, or LGBTQ plus or whatever, and I have like a rare form of neurodivergence because because there's a big stereotype and I don't relate to it. I know it's a little bit off topic that a lot of us are high functioning, which functioning labels are actually defunct now. A lot of people don't like functioning labels. I'm aware of that. But what I mean is that there's a lot of neurodivergent people that that able to have a functional life is what I mean. They have jobs and stuff like that. A lot of them have average or high IQs. Not all of them, because I'm living proof of this. I'm living proof that I know it's a little bit off topic. It has nothing to do with bisexuality, but I was diagnosed with a low IQ, and I'm not a functioning member of society. I still live with my parents, even though I'm 30. I got no job at the moment, so I'm struggling here. I feel more mentally ill though. You know what I mean? Than I do feel neurodivergent. But anyways, I'm mostly attracted to the physique of the person, the phenotype. I don't know if the phenotype is the right word I'm looking for. Like the physicalness of the person. Like you know what I mean? Um, like you know what I mean? If it doesn't really it for the most part, what someone identifies with is not a problem to me. Like it's not a problem to me. I mean, again, there may be somebody that's just like, oh yeah, I'm blah 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 gender. That's just made up. That's just made up. That's not. I'm not speaking in a different language. That's just made up. Like I'm blah 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 gender. And if I look it up, it might be like, I'm not really into that. I mean, it's a possibility. That's why I don't. I know I'm kind of repeating myself here, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, I identify as whatever for the most part. But the physicalness, though, is also a reason why I identify as bisexual because there may be a physical body, or you know what I mean? Like, there may be a type of body that I might not be into. Like the whole intersex thing. Like, I think I would get with an intersex person, but they might have like something, like, they might have a certain body where it's like, oh, well, I'm not into that, but I respect you though. Like everyone has their own, even outside of even outside of intersex. There's even men and women. There's even men and women like biologically, like, or men at birth or women at birth. Whatever, like cisgender people. There's even cisgender people where I'm not attracted to some of them because, she has too much body hair or he has too much body hair or they don't have enough body hair. Like, it's at that point, it doesn't really sound like gender preferences. At that point, it kind of sounds like just personal preferences. So everybody has personal preferences. I think a big misconception when it comes to bisexuality is bisexuals have preferences and pansexuals don't. I think I read somewhere that was a misconception because um, it doesn't, because someone said something like, it don't matter if you're bisexual, pansexual, gay, straight, there's people in general that have preferences. Not everybody. See, that's also a misconception. There's also another misconception that everyone has preferences and no matter what your sexuality is. I think that in itself is a misconception. I think I have met people where they have little to no preferences. I think I have met people like that where it's like, oh yeah, short people, short and bold people, muscular, like they'll get with basically anybody. Like there are people out there that they will get with basically almost anybody. They don't care what the person looks like. I think those people do exist. What I'm trying to get at is that I don't think we should define bisexuality and pansexuality based on physical preferences because I wouldn't say a lot, but no. I wouldn't say all, but a lot do have preferences because you could be a bisexual with preferences, like physical preferences, do you like baggy jeans or femininity or masculinity? And then you could be a bisexual that has no preferences. I think that's a thing. And then vice versa, you could be a pansexual that has no preferences, which is like the stereotype. And then you can be you can be a pansexual that has no preferences. That's like the stereotype. And then you can be a pansexual that does have preferences for physical, like are they short, tall, whatever. Now, as far as gender preferences, because that's a little bit different from actual, like, are they skinny or not? Like that, like as far as gender preferences, I think it also goes the same way too. Like, I think even with that, I think you could be bisexual and be like, oh yeah, I prefer women over men, even though I like both. Plus, possibly other genders. Like, you know what I mean? That could be bisexual. It's like, okay, so even though you like men and women, and maybe some extra gender or other genders, even though that's your definition of bisexuality, you lean towards women or men. That's gender preferences. Pansexuals, I think, can be the same way, maybe, I don't know, where you don't care about the person's gender or you know what I mean, like you're attracted to all genders or whatever. You may be gender blind or maybe you're omnisexual and you're not gender blind. And by the way, I don't know if the gender blindness is a requirement for pansexuality. I think it is. I think that's because I think that's how you differentiate pansexual from omnisexual. I don't want to get into that, but anyways, to get back to what I'm talking about though, you could be pansexual and be like, you could be a stereotypical pansexual and be like, yeah, I'm attracted to people regardless of gender. I don't really lean one way. I don't lean to women more. I don't lean to men more. Every gender is hot to me. Like every gender is sexy to me. Like you could be like the stereotypical pansexual like that, But then I think you can go against that. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can probably go against that and be like, yeah, I'm pansexual and I'm attracted to people regardless of gender and I'm gender blind. But even though I am all of that, even though I still prefer women though. So even though I'm attracted to people regardless of gender and I don't really see gender or, I don't really care that much about whatever, I still lean towards women, but I'm pansexual. That might be a thing maybe. With omnisexual, definitely, because it doesn't have that gender blind aspect, that gender. Hopefully, I called it gender blind and not gender bend. Hopefully, throughout the video, I didn't call it gender bend by accident, because what I meant to say was gender blind. If I did, whatever. I did not mean to say gender bend. I meant to say gender blind. It makes more sense with omnisexual, though, because you're not gender blind, and you're attracted to all genders, and it could very well be possible that you could lean towards non-binary people more, or men more, or women more. So the whole concept of bisexuality, or no, of sexuality in general, is very complicated. And I'm not saying this in a mean way at all, but I think due to the millions of genders that we have, it just makes it even more complicated. Back in the day when there were only just two, and some people do still believe there's only just two, trans people included, because again, that's not a third gender, or that's not a third sex, I'm not complaining that those multiple genders. I think that's pretty cool, and that's pretty, it's pretty, like, I think it's cool that there's multiple genders and multiple sex, and, like, it's cool that there's multiple genders and there's multiple variations of the biological sex. Like, that's hot. Like, you know what I mean? That's sexy to me, that there's, non-binary people that present in different ways, and there's intersex people, and they get to express themselves. Not trying to fetishize these people at all or anything, because fetishizing would mean being obsessed with, and I'm not. I don't even, like, I'm not really, like, there's no gender I can think of where I'm obsessed with. So I guess you could say maybe I'm a 50-50% bisexual or whatever, but I would like to think that I do have a lean. I would like to think that I do have a bisexual lean, and I would like to think that that's women. I would really like to think that they would be women. But some days I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get too controversial here, but there is also the topic of genital preference, and I don't want to get too controversial here because I don't want to piss people off, and I don't want get this I don't want this video to be 18 plus, you know what I mean? I don't want to age restrict this video, so I don't want to get too much into this, but there is people that have a genital preference. I think pansexual people, a lot of them say hearts, not parts. Like, they just don't care what's in people's pants and stuff like that. I don't really like that saying because it sounds like asexuality. Now, there's nothing wrong with being asexual, but to me, I don't like that saying hearts but not parts, because it sounds like you're not attracted to genitals at all. You're just attracted to the person, which those people do exist, and not all of them are asexual. I think it really is possible to be gay, straight, bisexual, and pansexual, and you're attracted to the person, but you're not attracted to genitals at all. I think that is possible. Me personally, I don't relate to that. I think genitals are an important aspect of the person, not necessarily the only important thing about the person, and not necessarily the number one important thing about the person. I would not say that. You know what I mean? Because I'm more of I'm more of an ass. Is it tits or ass? I'm more of an ass kind of a guy, and ass isn't really a genital. You know, and I'm also kind of a foot kind of a person as well. Like, I like feet and stuff like that. So I'm not super obsessed with genitals and stuff like that. But it is important to me in some kind of little small way. No pun intended. Not trying to make a joke about it. No, I'm not small. I'm just joking. But yeah. But I'm not saying it's a deal breaker though. Like, I'm not saying it's a deal breaker. Like, I'm not trying to be too explicit here, but I'm mostly attracted to dudes that have dongs. I'm a little bit attracted to women that have, the D, you know what I mean? I guess, it's whatever. And I'm attracted to women that have, the vag, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Oh no, what is it? Let me start again. I'm attracted to dudes that have the D. I'm somewhat attracted to dudes that have a vag, kind of, in a way. A vajayjay, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say the word. I am somewhat attracted to dudes that have that, but not too much, because I'm not too big into vajayjay in a general sense. I mean, I am attracted to the cat hole, if you know what I mean. The pussy cat, you know what I mean. Maybe I shouldn't say that. You know what I mean? But I am attracted to, the VAG, yo, 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 I am. But not as much as the wiener. I don't know. You know what I mean? But either way, it don't matter. It's what it is. It could even be a new genital that I've never even seen before. Some other intersex, kind of third gender, whatever. It could also be that too. It don't matter. As long as it's a functional sexual organ, that's all that matters, right? Because obviously, if it don't work, that may be a problem in the bedroom. It may not, though. I mean, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, if it's not working for some reason, you have a defect, that's fine. I mean, I have a defect myself, actually. Not to the point to where it's dysfunctional, But I was born. I'm not intersex myself, but I was born with a congenital penile curvature. I don't want to get too much. I'm getting too much into this, but basically, just to end this topic, because it's getting a little bit too explicit here, and I don't know if people are going to get offended, but dude with a dong, dude with a wiener, okay, cool. Dude with with a vag, a hole, okay, cool. Kind of, yeah, it's not too big into that. Woman with a hole, woman with a vag, yeah, that's fine. Woman with a D, with a, that's okay. So yeah, that's me. But I'm mostly attracted to the D, though. You know what I mean? But it's, mostly on men, But the weird thing is, I'm more attracted to women, though. Now, I'm not trying to get a little bit too controversial here, but you would say, oh, if you're attracted to the D more, and you're attracted to women more, wouldn't it be more sense to prefer women with the D? For some reason, I don't. Like, I don't make that my number one priority. I don't. I have this weird thing in my mind where it's like, and it's not because I don't want to be seen as a chaser. It's not that at all. It's just for some reason, I don't know. It's just I prefer guys with D's, but I also prefer maybe women more in a general sense. I think what it could be, maybe possibly here, is that I maybe prefer women in a romantic, platonic way, but also women in a fetish way of like, okay, maybe we could be doing some other stuff, right? Like maybe we could be doing some foot type of action or some kind of BDSM. So basically, like, I spend more time with women more in a romantic sense and in a fetish, kinky kind of a way where, we're having less vanilla sex and more kinky stuff. And with men, it's more, for me, more vanilla. Not saying that kink and fetish is off the table for men. It's just for men, I chase after men more for the normal sex, vanilla kind of a thing. For some reason, but I could do kink and fetish with any one of those people, you know. So yeah, I'm sorry if this video got a little bit too controversial here. I'm not trying to offend people at all. I'm just trying to be really real with you all about what I'm attracted to. And basically, what I'm trying to get at is listening to myself speak in real time. I've come to the conclusion that I guess maybe like I don't really have a preference really for anything. I sound like I'm attracted to almost everything across the board as far as genitals go and gender goes and biological sex goes, and I still have physical preferences, definitely. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not into like short, bald people or anything, no offense, but I definitely have preferences for stuff like that, and I'm not into like yo dressing up like a yo kind of a guy with the hat backwards type shit. But or not even. I mean, I do like tomboys. I mean, that's another thing too, is the femininity and masculinity. Like, what am I attracted to when it comes to that? Again, I'm very sorry if some of this stuff sounded very offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive. I want to talk about this is taboo stuff, and this shouldn't be taboo. So if you're offended, that's your problem, because I'm trying to be real and honest about what I'm into, and that's what it is. I mean, we shouldn't shy from these fucking topics, These are very important topics that we need to talk about here. And some people can't help what they're attracted to. People can help how they act upon the attractions, but you shouldn't shame people because they have a genital preference or a gender preference or a sex preference. You should not at all. So any shaming in this video directed towards me will get deleted, and I don't care because this is just how I feel, So with that out of the way, let me end this video before it gets too long. Femininity and masculinity. Now, what is my opinion on that? Well, I am attracted to feminine men, like femboys, masculine men, traditional men. Also average men, where they're not really masculine or feminine, they kind of just look average, like average weight, average dressing. They have like they might not have a 6-pack, they might have like a 4-pack, or maybe they don't. They might look like a twink or something, or they might be like a twunk, which is like a twink mixed with a hunk. Like I'm into stuff like that. Guys with muscles, kind of, if it's not too extreme. Men with body hair. I'm not big into facial hair really at all on anybody, unless if it's a little subtle, 5 o'clock shadow or a little bit of hair growing, like a little bit maybe. But I'm not big into facial hair. I'm not into myself having facial hair either. But I don't mind body hair. Like, I'm not trying to be gross or anything, but I don't mind armpit hair or chest or stomach hair or any hair anywhere else. Like, it don't matter really. But if they're shaven, that's fine too. I think I do prefer shaven, or I don't know. It depends on how horny I am. My sexuality changes depending on how aroused I am, and it's really weird and confusing. But it's the same thing with women. She could have muscles. She could be like a buff, like a masculine girl. Like she works out and shit like that. Like that's fine. She could be hairy. She could be hairy and masculine, whatever. That's fine too. She could be skinny. She could be a little bit on the heavy side. Same thing with a guy. He could be a little bit on the heavy side. I'm attracted to basically, yeah. It seems even with that, it seems like I don't. What am I trying to say? It seems like I'm attracted to almost everything across the board. You know that I don't really have a preference, or I do, but I'm kind of almost into everything that you can think of. I like tomboys, which she dresses like dudeish with jeans and a t-shirt or whatever. I'm into masculine women, which is different from tomboy in my opinion. I think there's a difference. I think tomboy is more about how you dress and not really about the muscles, but they do kind of overlap in a way. I'm into both, even at the same time, or not at the same time. It's cool, my sexuality. She could be hairy armpits, whatever. I don't really care. I don't know. I don't really care. I guess they could be like maybe a fetish or something. I don't know. And non-binary people, it's whatever. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I think I do maybe have limits. Like, I'm not really big into women that have short hair. I don't think I'm really into that. Like, maybe if she shaved her head like halfway, but I've seen women where like they're very like butch or butt, or however you pronounce it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm into that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, butch. I don't know if I'm really into butch women. A lot of them are lesbians, so it don't really matter to me. Not all of them. I don't want to create any stereotypes. I do want to be open minded, and I don't want to say all butch women are lesbian, or I don't know if they are. Or I mean, it's possible that you look butch, but you're not lesbian. That could be a possibility. Hey, I'm trying to be very open minded here about anything's possible, dude. Like anything's fucking possible nowadays. So yeah, I'm not really into women with short hair. I don't know. Men with short hair is fine. Men with long hair is like femboy. Yeah, it's whatever. It could even be a masculine femboy if that's a thing. Or kind of like a twunk, but feminine, like kind of in a way, like Peter Steele from Typo Negative, but maybe not as masculine. Like maybe a little bit on the thinner side, kind of in a way. Like, you know what I mean? The long hair, but you're kind of masculine. Like I might be into that maybe. But yeah, I'm into basically almost everything. It don't really fucking matter to me. But I think I do have a lean once again, and it's women for platonic, romantic, and kinky times, and men for vanilla sex, normal sex times. But again, I could be kinky with both or any gender with the fetishes and stuff. That's just how I view it. Now I'm not gonna get into the whole top and bottom, submissive, dominant, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that crap here because that basically, I'm not just saying this. I'm versatile. Like I'm a switch for basically everything. I'm a switch for basically everything. I could be okay. Fuck it. I'm a switch for dom and sub. I'm a switch for top and bottom. I'm a switch for sadism and masochism. I'm a switch for basically everything. But I say I lean more towards a submissive masochist. I guess you could say I lean more towards that. I don't want to get too specific on the activities of those things, but yeah, I do lean more towards submissive masochism in a way. But that's kind of going beyond the realm of bisexuality. That's just talking about sexuality at this point. But yeah. So yeah, I'm mostly looking for a woman for romance and sex. Whether she's born a woman or not, it don't matter to me. Like whether she transitioned or she's born that way, it don't matter to me. I'm just looking for mostly a woman. But if a guy comes along the way, that's fine too. Or non-binary or whatever. I don't know. I'm probably gonna end this. I'm sorry if anything that I said offended people. I'm just trying to be real with y'all about what I'm attracted to. And I hope I didn't come off as a fetishist for people. I have fetishes, but I don't want to treat anybody here like they are a fetish. Because people to me aren't fetishes. I don't even know how that's even fucking possible. You know, I'm not trying to come off as a chaser or anything. I don't think that I am. I don't obsess about you know, you know what I mean, like trans women or anything like that. You know, I'm open to the whole fucking whatever. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at. You know, so hopefully I didn't come off as rude or a chaser or creepy or anything like that. And I hope I don't get dislikes or hate or anything, because this is mostly a music channel and I don't usually talk about these topics. But I don't know. Maybe it's a good. Maybe if the more long I make this video, it will bore people. Then people won't watch it because of how long it is, and I'll bore people to death to where they won't get offended. But I'm just being real with y'all. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'll probably end this. There's not really that much to say. But yeah, I guess you could say that I'm bisexual or omnisexual, or I don't know. I guess I'm just, I don't know.